video, and it looked like WNBA fans is pissed off over A'ja Wilson and her special whistle.
A'ja Wilson just hit a walk-off shot, and the fans, they went wild. But not for the reason you might think. People are actually accusing her of getting a special whistle, saying the refs basically handed her that win. Seriously, 12 free throws for her. 0 fouls called against her. Meanwhile, you watch Caitlin Clark get hammered every single game and barely gets a call. Something just feels off in Vegas, right? Is A'ja really just that good, or is she just that protected? Look, the shot itself was clutch, no doubt. A'ja pulled up, sank the game winner, and the crowd absolutely erupted. Highlight reels ran it back 100 times. But beyond all that hype, people started noticing something else. The way the refs were just glued to her every move, almost like she had this invisible do not touch sign around her. Everyone online is calling it the A'ja whistle, and honestly, they might have a point, because this isn't just about one call or one game. It's a pattern, and Fever fans have been screaming about it since last season. This latest drama, it kicked off in Phoenix, during another tight game for Wilson's Aces. The final score doesn't even matter anymore, because all anyone remembers is A'ja getting those 12 free throws, while the opposing star, Satou Sabally, was getting hacked left and right and barely saw the free throw line. Even worse, Sabally got hurt, and her coach later said she wasn't even in the locker room after the game.
Playing with those 5 fouls. Sabally can't fit.
And guess what the refs did about all that? Absolutely nothing. Now listen, we gotta give credit where it's due. A'ja Wilson is incredibly talented. Nobody's trying to deny that. But when every single close game ends with her consistently standing at the free throw line, and the other team's best players are sitting on the bench with 5 fouls, people start to notice. Even casual fans. You know, the ones who just jumped on the WNBA bandwagon because of Caitlin Clark, are looking around and thinking, wait, why does A'ja always get the soft whistle? Because here's the thing, A'ja Wilson doesn't just get calls, she gets protection. You rarely see her in foul trouble. Her calls almost never get overturned. And somehow, she gets to play full-throttle defense while everyone else gets whistled just for breathing near her. That's not skill anymore. That's pure privilege.
Give the ball to A'ja and get out of the way. That's all the play was.
Yeah, I feel like in that moment, if a coach has to tell me what to do, I'm not doing my job. And she just drew up a play. It wasn't really even a play.
Yeah, it really was that basic.
It was pretty much what you saw. And I'm appreciative that Becky trusts me in those moments. But that's playoff basketball moments. Those are the moments that you live for. So I'm glad I was able to show up. I get on my cars for not just coming to work, so I'm glad I was able to come to work.
Fans on X, you know, what used to be Twitter, they've got receipts. There are clips everywhere. Illegal screens not called, phantom fouls whistled on opponents, and then the craziest part, A'ja getting continuation on contact that barely even existed. Let's just run through a couple of examples. First one, A'ja sets a super obvious moving screen. Everyone watching sees it. Even the announcers are like, whoa, that's a foul. But the refs blow the whistle, and get this, they call it on the defender. That's how wild things have gotten. Another one, a defender boxes out for a rebound. Wilson crashes into her and they call it a jump ball. Now, you see that exact same play on the other end, and if Caitlin Clark or Aaliyah Boston even breathes on someone, it's an automatic foul. You just can't make this stuff up.
Something we have to talk about is the amount of free throws A'ja Wilson is getting off. Not only just the amount of free throws she's getting off, the free throws and the calls that is pretty much garnering her the type of performances like this. She never gets in foul trouble. She gets all her calls. At this point, bro, this is unprecedented. I feel as if Caitlin Clark needs this damn whistle. Everybody should be pitching a bitch about A'ja Wilson whistle, because the WNBA was so far in the sunken damn place, no one paid attention to the sport. No one ever watched the first 2 damn championships.
It's actually gotten to the point where fans are comparing this whole situation to Deflategate. Yeah, we're talking about Tom Brady's football scandal. That's how ridiculous this whole thing looks right now. And if you think it's just Salty Fever fans doing all the talking, think again. Even neutral fans, and honestly, some Aces supporters too, have started saying, all right, this is genuinely getting weird. But here's what really set off the explosion. After that game-winning shot, the official WNBA account posted a highlight reel praising Aja's unreal clutch performance. Thousands of comments immediately flooded in. Half of them were like, great shot. But the other half, they were all saying, of course she made it. The refs carried her all night. When your highlight reel's comment section ends up looking like a courtroom, you've definitely got a problem. Now let's talk numbers, because numbers don't lie.
Mainstream media, and now people is paying attention. Not only is we paying attention, we're noticing a pattern, and the pattern is A'ja Wilson get this damn special whistle. Like, this should be looked into, bro.
A'ja Wilson is leading the entire league with almost 8.3 free throw attempts per game. That number is just insane, honestly. For context, that's more than double what Caitlin Clark averages, and Clark gets hit like she owes people money every single night she plays. In total, A'ja has already made over 21-90 free throws this season, and no one else is even close. It's not even a race, it's a monopoly. Now tell me this, how is it even possible for one player to lead the league in free throws year after year, yet never be the one fouling out or getting technicals? Either she's mastered basketball to an alien level, or the refs are treating her like absolute royalty. And don't get it twisted, fans aren't mad that she's good, they're mad that the league acts like she's completely untouchable. Let's compare her to Caitlin Clark for a second. Caitlin's in her second year now, so she's not just the rookie everyone was picking on. But still, the calls just don't go her way. She gets knocked to the floor, elbowed, pushed out of bounds, and that whistle stays silent like someone hit the mute button. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson gets a light tap on the wrist, and the refs sprint to the free throw line faster than a Black Friday crowd. That double standard is what drives fans absolutely crazy, and it's why every single time A'ja wins a close game, people mentally add an asterisk to it. Remember earlier this season, when Caitlin Clark and the Fever played the Aces, there was one possession that pretty much summed up everything. Clark drives, gets hacked, no call. Then, on the very next play down the court, Wilson gets barely brushed by a defender, and immediately gets 2 free throws. The Fever bench just went silent, because at this point, complaining doesn't even help. You just know what's coming. That's why fans call it the special whistle. Now, I know what some people are going to say, she's a star. Stars always get calls. Sure, but there's a huge difference between star treatment and straight-up referee worship. LeBron James gets calls because he attacks the rim every single possession. Steph Curry gets calls because he shoots through contact. But when A'ja Wilson can play an entire half without a single foul called on her, that's not respecting a superstar. That's completely fixing the spotlight. And here's the wild part. This isn't even new. If you look at stats from 2023, she also led the league in free throws. That same pattern just shows up again and again. Different opponents, different refs, same exact result. You could literally predict the box score before tip-off. Wilson, 8-12 free throws. Boston, 4 fouls. Caitlin Clark, 2 free throws. 10 hits. Lather, rinse, repeat. And this is exactly why fans are saying, enough is enough. Because now that the WNBA finally has mainstream eyes on it, these kinds of things can't hide anymore. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, nobody outside of hardcore fans even noticed. Now, every little moment trends within minutes. So if A'ja Wilson gets away with a foul or takes 12 free throws again, you better believe people will clip it, post it, and tag everyone from ESPN to Elon Musk. That's the new reality. The league absolutely cannot afford another favoritism scandal. Not when the Fever are bringing in record TV ratings, and half those new viewers are already convinced the refs have an agenda. And speaking of agendas, let's talk about why this might actually be happening. Because honestly, there's a theory going around that's starting to make just too much sense. The Las Vegas Aces, they're the WNBA's money team. They're stacked with stars, backed by casinos, and hyped up as the league's next big dynasty. They're marketable, they win, and they draw huge crowds. So naturally, the league wants them deep in the playoffs. And how do you make sure your best team doesn't fall apart? You protect the centerpiece, A'ja Wilson. It's the same exact playbook every single league uses. The NBA used to protect its top draws. The NFL does it with quarterbacks. And now, the WNBA might be doing it with Wilson. The problem? It's just too obvious. You can't grow a fan base by making everyone feel like the results are basically scripted. Fans want real competition, not favoritism. That's why Fever fans are louder than ever. They see the imbalance every single time Caitlin Clark takes contact with no whistle, while A'ja's at the line for sneezing too hard. And you know, Caitlin's handling it the best she can. She doesn't call people out by name. She doesn't rant to reporters, but her face says it all. You can literally see it during games. She'll get hit, look at the ref, and just kind of laugh in disbelief. That's where the frustration sits now. Even other players are starting to hint at it. A few veterans posted cryptic stuff like, "Some of y'all got lifetime ref passes, and nobody even needed to name names. Everybody knew." So when A'ja hit that walk-off, the internet didn't celebrate. Instead, it investigated. Clips, slow-mos, breakdowns of every foul that wasn't called. People were literally freeze-framing the last 2 minutes, like they were analyzing a crime scene. And here's the twist. A'ja herself is actually starting to feel the heat. Because when your big highlight moment gets completely drowned out by "you cheated" comments, that's instant regret territory. She tried posting her usual blessed and thankful caption on Instagram, but the comments were brutal. Fans were calling her Referee Wilson, and others wrote things like, "Nice win, the ref scored 12." Even neutral sports pages are now asking if the league is protecting her. And that's when you know the conversation has officially gone mainstream. The funniest part, if you call this stuff out, people immediately accuse you of hating on greatness. No, it's not hating. It's just asking for fairness. Caitlin Clark's team shouldn't have to play 5-on-8 every single night. The Fever already struggle enough rebuilding around young stars. They shouldn't also be fighting the officials like it's just part of the game plan. Because if this continues, fans are going to lose interest super fast. Nobody wants to invest in a league where the outcome feels pre-decided. That's not competition. That's just bad theater. And here's where the irony really hits hard. The same league that spent the whole year talking about equality and respect might actually be the one quietly creating inequality on the court. Protecting one star while punishing another? That's not empowering women's sports. That's straight up killing credibility. Now don't get me wrong, A'ja Wilson isn't the villain of the entire WNBA. She's one of the most gifted forwards out there. Her footwork, her defense, her leadership, it's all legit. But when fans start questioning the integrity of how she wins, that greatness just loses its weight. And sadly, it's not even her fault entirely. It's the refs and the league executives who think protecting their face of the league equals success. It doesn't. If anything, it's doing the complete opposite. Because the more they favor one player, the more fans rally behind the one who's getting shortchanged, Caitlin Clark. And that's exactly what's happening. You can already feel the tide turning online. Every time a questionable call benefits the Aces, thousands of comments show up defending Clark. She's becoming the symbol of fairness, while A'ja's becoming the symbol of favoritism. That's how fast narratives can change. A'ja Wilson used to be the league darling. Now she's trending for all the wrong reasons, being accused of cheating with the referees, and you can tell it's getting to her. In post-game interviews, she's trying to smile it off, but that tension is definitely there. You can hear it when she says stuff like, "I just play my game," or "I don't control the refs." True, but that doesn't stop fans from noticing the pattern. Because when that pattern benefits you every single night, people stop believing in coincidence. And that's where we'll pause for now. Because what happens next, the fan reactions, the memes, the league's silence, and how Caitlin Clark quietly flipped the entire narrative, makes this story even crazier. After that Phoenix game, the backlash didn't just cool off. It absolutely exploded. Every sports page, every podcast, every X thread turned into a full-blown investigation. Fans started comparing every A'ja Wilson foul, or lack of one, to Caitlin Clark's entire season. The difference was just embarrassing. A'ja Wilson shot 12 free throws that night. Caitlin Clark, she's lucky if she gets 4 in an entire game, even after getting knocked down half a dozen times. You don't need to be a conspiracy theorist to see the bias. It's right there in the box score. Even rival players started hinting about it. One anonymous player apparently told a reporter, "Some people in this league get protected like they're made of gold." Fans didn't even need names, they already knew exactly who she meant. Meanwhile, social media was just cooking. Ref Wilson, the Whistle Queen, and Vegas Scripted all started trending. People made side-by-side clips showing Caitlin getting slammed to the floor with no call, followed by A'ja barely getting touched and instantly walking to the line. It was brutal to watch, and when reporters actually asked A'ja about it, she said, "I can't control what people say, I just played the game." Yeah, that really didn't help, because saying nothing is sometimes way louder than saying the wrong thing. Even Adam Silver's name started floating around again. Fans really want someone from the NBA to look into the WNBA's officiating mess, especially after Kathy Engelbert stayed silent for what feels like the 20th time this month. If this league wants to grow, it just can't keep pretending the fans are blind. And the best part, the Fever fans totally flipped the whole thing into a rallying cry. Caitlin Clark might not complain publicly, but her fan base sure does. Every missed call now becomes proof that she's doing it the hard way. No help, no favors, just pure basketball. In the end, A'ja Wilson might have won that game, but she lost something much bigger: credibility. Because when fans start believing your wins come with a whistle attached, that trophy just starts to look kind of hollow. So what do you think? Is A'ja Wilson actually getting unfair help from the refs? Or are fans just salty after another Aces win? Either way, the numbers don't lie. And that whistle? It sure sounds one-sided.